Do you have any knowledge of the Denais family prior to your in-laws or anybody else from Youngsville? I want to see how far back we can go with who was here first in Youngsville, who settled in Youngsville first.
Well, my mother-in-law's parents were the first ones here.
Okay.
Who built the home that we lived in, as I told Diane. But they've been dead, my God, like I say, almost 100 years. That was on the Giat side.
Did he get a land grant? Was he a farmer?
No, he owned downtown on Main Street. There again, he owned a big, sort of a general merchandise store.
Do you remember the name of it?
No, I don't. No, I really don't remember the name of it. But he sold everything.
Where was it located?
Right on Main Street, downtown.
Okay. On Church Street?
Yes.
On Church Street.
And he sold perfume. Women would bring their empty bottles.
Ah.
And he'd fill it up with Midnight in Paris or whatever perfume, this strong smelling stuff. Anyway, he'd fill up their bottles. That's how they got their perfume.
Was it kind of like a 5 and dime where they had
no,
soda
not a
fountain?
5 and dime. It was more like you could buy pots and pans, you could buy rubber boots, you could buy kitchen stuff, hardware, whatever.
Like a general store?
Yes, it was a general store. Yes, yes. And then, now my husband, the Denais side, he was from Milton. His parents had their little house is still in Milton today. A little light blue house that they lived in.
Yeah.
And again, he was principal. He had 2 sisters who were educators. One at the school in Milton where my father-in-law was principal. The other one taught in Maurice.
Yeah.
So they were an educated family in education, when they put it that way.
So was your mother-in-law's family still alive when you met your husband in 1950?
No, not her family.
Okay.
No. Now, she had 2 brothers.
Uh-huh.
One was Dr. Roy Giat, who was a dentist on Jefferson Street.
Okay.
And the other one was Dan Giat, who was clerk of court in Lafayette.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Now, they were still living, very much alive when I moved to Youngsville.
I'm kind of aware that Dan Giat collected a lot of information about Youngsville.
Yes, he used to have those pictures that he would, in fact, he sent some of Lucas here, and
Yeah.
that he posted in the clerk of court's office.
Yeah.
And Dan's son, O.C. Giat Jr., and his wife, Mona, and Lucas and I, my husband and I, had a double wedding in Youngsville.
Oh, really?
In 55.
What year? What month was that?
May of 1955.
May of 1955.
Yeah.
How did you meet Mr. Denais, Lucas?
I met Lucas at a bar.
Did you?
I lived with my grandparents on the outskirts of Scott. And this bar, run by Mr. and Mrs. Knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, they were friends of my parents. My parents lived in Ohio at that time. Had a bar, but it was a family bar type thing. And there was a little hallway in the bar and a room in the back with a piano. And I played piano by ear, and Mr. Knight did too. So sometimes when I had nothing to do on a Saturday night, I'd go to the bar, Mr. Knight and I'd get back there and we'd jam it up and play and have a good time. And so one Saturday night I was there and I was by myself in the back. And I could see somebody standing in the doorway, and I looked, and it was this tall guy. I said, "Well, hello." He turned around and walked off, and I thought, what an idiot-looking guy. Well, he went and got my husband.
Oh.
That was O.C. Jr. that we had the double wedding with.
Oh.
He was dating his wife at the time, and my husband had a date with my best friend in Scott.
Oh.
So my husband came, and of course he sang too. He had a beautiful voice. He did a lot of singing in his day. So he stayed there and played, and he said, "You gonna be here for a while?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "We're going to get those girls. We're coming right back." I said, "I'll wait for you." And I did.
Oh.
And he dated her for a little while. And then when I graduated in 1954, I had a date with one of his best friends, Gerald Freeman from here in Youngsville. He just passed away not long ago. Gerald and I had a date. Well, we went to this club in New Iberia. O.C. and Mona and Gerald and I and Lucas, I don't forget who he was with. Well, the end of the evening, Gerald had given me his class ring, so I had it on.
Oh.
Well, Lucas gave me his, and I had his. Well, O.C. was 6 sheets to the wind. He said, "Listen here, you can't have 2 rings. You gotta have only one." So I gave him Gerald's ring. I said, "Would you give that back to him?"
Oh.
And that's how we connected.
So
That's how we started dating.
how long
Nice.
did you date before you
We
got
dated a year.
a year?
Yeah,
So
that was May of 54. We got married in May of 55.
and then how many children did you have?
We had 2 children. My daughter, Chris, lives here in Sugar Mill Pond. She's living with Gary Broadhead, who is the UL girls basketball coach.
I know her.
Well, they live down Waterview a good little ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a son who was killed in a boating accident in 1975.
Sorry.
So I had the 2 children.
Yeah.
Now I have the 2 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
This was my husband up here.
Yeah.
And that was my son right here.
Yes. He looks
And
just
I
like
had
your
that
husband.
picture of me painted. We were all in New Orleans one time, and I had asked O.C. He knew quite a bit about art and painting, and I said, we walked around Jackson Square. I said, "Who do you think?" Oh, he said, "Brandy Downs by no means. She's the best." So I had her do my picture up there. So.
How old were you when that picture was done?
Huh?
How old were you when that picture was done?
Very young.
Very young.
Quite a few years younger than I am now, my dear. I would say I was probably in my 20s, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Y'all are a good-looking couple.
Huh?
You're a good-looking couple. You
Oh,
and your
thank
husband.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So the Guillot family, were they original members? I mean, residents of Youngsville? Do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they were. Yes.
Did they ever tell you? Anybody ever tell you stories about early Youngsville?
Tell me what?
Stories about early Youngsville?
No, not really. The stories I'm telling you today is what was there when I moved there in
Right.
55. Yeah.
Yeah. And did anybody ever talk about the prisoner of war camp that?
That prisoner of war camp was in the front of my house where the old park is today in Youngsville.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I've got 2, well, they're both passed away, but there were sisters, 2 of my best friends, Isabel Baker and Lillian Danu. That's where they met their husbands, who were from one from New Hampshire and one from New York. They were guarding the prisoners here. They were sent down here to guard the prisoners.
Yeah.
And they met these 2 Cajun girls and married them.
That's a great story. Has anybody ever talked about the? Wasn't there a couple of the German prisoners that actually ended up staying and living in Youngsville?
That actually was.
That lived here, that stayed?
I don't know. That
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know much about the prison of war camp other than what I've told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did your children go to school? Did they go to Green Tea London?
They went to the old Youngsville High School, where the middle school is today.
Okay.
That's where my husband graduated from.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in the meantime, as they got older, Como High School was built.
Mm-hmm.
And they both went to Como when they became freshmen
Right.
in school, and that's where they graduated from.
Do you feel like Youngsville was a great place to raise your family?
Absolutely.